The worst enemy that any man has is the one that walks around under his own hat. Welcome, everybody. Welcome back to one of the greatest knowledge drips of all time. Welcome back. And thank you for tuning in once again. It's amazing how this little tiny world can offer so many abundant and endless opportunities. This is Wild Thoughts with your host, The Big Bang. And we are talking about this awesome power of revenge. This immediate power of self-control. This power of intolerance. Greed, which is deadly. Revenge, egotism, suspicion, jealousy. And most importantly, the worst enemy of all, the more envious than egotism, more deadly than intolerance, more patient than greed. It is the worst enemy that any man has, and that is the one that walks under his own hat. Now, how does this affect you? For as much then as Christ hath suffered for us in the flesh, arm yourself likewise with the same mind, for he that hath suffered in the flesh and hath ceased from sin. Now, how do we get over this thought, this mechanism of our own life of how we are our worst enemy? Now, that might be hard to believe for some of you, that you could be possibly your worst enemy, but it's true. And I've noticed this in the last couple of days, what is it, 11 days since I did the last knowledge drip with Jake, where I told him I was going to practice making my life hard. Everything I would do, everything I would say, I would make my life hard. No longer affirmations of power of thought. No longer affirmations of self-improvement, but affirmations of self-doubt. Affirmations of not loving thyself. Affirmations of not believing in the Almighty Spirit. Affirmations of trying to go out unabashed. Today I did the worst things you could do for yourself. I practiced the making the law hard for yourself. I practiced the law of intolerance. I practiced the law of greed. I practiced that motherfucking law of revenge, egotism, suspicion, and jealousy. All because of the Big Jake's drip. I wanted to see how I can make my life hard. I wanted to see if what my words said and did were true unto the faith that is, and how I could possibly go on about making my life hard. And let me tell you, after practicing it for the last 11 days since the last knowledge drip that we did, the last mind bending, the last lazy river flowing that we did, I noticed that I was making my life hard all through the words because I wanted to see if it was worth it to make my life hard. As I pick out my long, luxurious hair. And let me tell you something. I went through the process. I tried to make my life hard. I tried to go for revenge. I tried to do it. But revenge, just like making your life hard or working hard, revenge is a naked sword. It has neither hilt nor guard. Wouldst thou wield this brand of the Lord? Is thy grasp firm and hand? But the closer thy clutch of the blade, the deadlier blow thou wouldst deal. Deeper wound, a deeper wound in thy hands is made. It is thy bloody redness that stills the still. And when thou hast dealt the blow, when the blade from thy hand has flown instead of the heart of the foe, thou may find it sheathed in thine own. This feeling of making your life hard. This awesome power of revenge. This awesome power of egotism. For it cannot be undone, but it can be undoed. So without faith, no man may enjoy enduring success. Without faith, but there's jealousy, this sex desire, this uncontrolled sex desire, a few will have to name it. Uncontrolled sex desire. Been making my life hard instead of making my life easy, instead of easing my mind. I've been trying it out, Jake, and let me tell you something. Not that impressed with making my life hard. I'm really not. I don't enjoy it. I don't enjoy the feelings or the thoughts I get from making my own life hard. From trying to make it hard, from working hard, from thinking that I must do hard. No longer. I'm going back to my original saying that I've been going with for years. Make your life easy. Because like it says in 1 Peter chapter 31:17, for it is better. Hold on, let me get that for you one more time, just in case you guys want to look this up in your Bibles or whatever you want to fucking look it up. But if you want to look it up in your Bible, it's in 1 Peter chapter 3, and it is in the 17th verse, I believe. For it is better if the will of God be so that ye suffer for well-doing than for evil doing. Now that is in 1 Peter chapter 3:17. Do you understand that? For it is better if the will of God be so that ye suffer for well-doing than for evil doing. Now how can this good doing, this well-doing, be better for you than evil doing? How can this well-thinking of making your life easy be better than making your life hard? I don't know. I don't know how it can be. But I do know that for Christ hath once suffered for sins. And if our sins have already been suffered for, why must we go back and make our life hard for things that are already done unto us? Why do we have to preach unto everybody the words and the tithings and the gods and the blessings of the living. When the gospel won't even be taught until you're dead. For the evil within you walks underneath your own hat. The evil within you walks under your own hat. But the good and the great, the acknowledgement and the beauty of life also walks under your hat. Now, this power of making your life easy, this power of real faith, this power of believing in yourself, the power, the destroyer, and the motherfucking lover that is on yourself is within you. But that's enough of that. I gotta give up on the making my life hard opportunities that were presented unto me. And I gotta turn back to my ways of making my life easy, making my life worth wanting to be there. And let me tell you, it's not through making your life hard. It's not through that. It's not through thinking hard. It's through thinking easy. It's through thinking righteousness. It's through thinking that you understand and know your true power. Because there's certain symptoms when you make your life hard. And when you make your life hard, it is probably, let me slow down here a little bit. I haven't done a knowledge drip for a few days. Excuse my tongue as it flows freely. But there are systems and there are also symptoms. And there's a reason we can make our life very hard. And that is through the symptoms of lack of persistence. And that is what I'm going to go over in this next section of the knowledge drip. And there's also symptoms to make your life more easy. So we went over this last 11 days of making your life hard. Thank you, Jake, for trying to make our life hard. But no more of that shit. I'm not going to make my life hard at all. I'm going to make my life easy. I'm going to make my life super simple and super conscientious, knowing that the most evil thing that walks with me is the thing that walks underneath my own hat. And that is my whole body, my whole being, my one continuous action of motion, my body until it is destroyed and what is that word? Decompromised, decompensated, decomposed, flashed back into earth, back into the dust as the bread. Before I turn back into this earth, and before I allow myself, and before I untell myself that life is hard, I'm going to begin to tell myself life is easy once again. Because when I was going through this making my life hard, making my life unbearable for the last 11 days, making my life hard, motherfucking Jake, hope you're listening, I had to go over the symptoms of the lack of persistence. And there's 16 lack of persistence. So why don't you go ahead and unclear your mind. If you've been like me, making your life hard for the last couple of days, maybe it's been the last couple of weeks, maybe it's been the last couple of years, Maybe it's been the last couple of minutes. But if you've been making your life hard, I'm going to go over with you now the 16 beautiful, amazing steps to get over this lack of persistence, this lack. Hopefully my tongue is working fine and you can clearly understand me. I've been drinking a little bit of alcohol and smoking a little bit of marijuanas. But even a little bit is a lot of it. But that's alright, because everybody knows that it's alright to drink alcohol. And everybody knows it's alright to take of the herb of the earth. If you don't believe me, you can open up your Bibles and you can read it and you can find it all out for yourself. It's all in there. Try it out, man. Go connect with your God. So before we start this symptoms of lack of persistence, I want to go over the basic instructions for sitting meditation. Now that we are at the 16-minute and 12-second mark, and we'll start the basic instructions for sitting meditations at 16 minutes and 30 seconds. So take a break and take a breath and sit in a stable and comfortable position. Remain upright and still. Close your eyes. Place and keep your attention on the sensations of your breath. Notice in the background all that arises in your mind's surroundings, but gently refrain from giving it in to the urges to engage in, focus on, or follow the various thoughts, memories, noises, physical sensations, or impulses to fidget that will arise. Allow them to fade away on their own, with your attention remaining on the sensations of breathing. Upon noticing that your attention has gone astray, gently reapply your attention to the sensations of breathing and congratulate yourself for this mini awakening to an awareness of the present moment. And now that we are at the 18-minute mark, you've all been ready for this. You all want to know why it's easy to make your life hard, and I'm going to go over with you easily in 16 steps the symptoms of the lack of persistence that will make your life hard. And I totally, this last 11 days since I did the big old Jake Not Drippin' podcast, I've been doing these symptoms of lack of persistence to make my life hard. And I'm going to share it with you. So I hope you have your notebook out. Hope you got your pencil out. Maybe you got your comb out. But really, if you think about it, you're not going to need your motherfucking notebooks. You're not going to need your motherfucking pens. You're not going to need your bitch ass handwriting. Because what I'm about to say is going to be left on the internet. The Ethernet, the ultimate cable guide for life that runs forever. And you get it all for free. With the wild thoughts and the Big Bang. So at the 20-minute mark, we will start the symptoms of the lack of persistence. The ones that are making your own life hard. The ones that are making your own life motherfucking hard. Because let me tell you, I know for a fact, without a doubt, that it makes your life hard. That I practiced it. and that I practiced it, and I didn't like it. So here we go with the first one, the first symptoms of lack of persistence. And the first one says, it is the failure to recognize and clearly define exactly what you want. So for the last 11 days, I have been failing to recognize and clearly define exactly what I want. And you know what has happened to me? Not much. Because everything that I would really want to happen, everything that I would normally clearly define that I want to happen, I stopped doing it. And just kind of half-assed said what I wanted. I didn't get it. The second one is procrastination, with or without cause. And this procrastination is usually backed up with a formidable array of alibis and excuses. The third is the lack of interest in acquiring specialized knowledge. Yes. Lack of interest in acquiring specialized knowledge. Yes, most of the time I read and I write. But because I was practicing making my life hard for the last 11 days, I didn't practice any of that. And let me tell you, shit really works. It really fucking does, man. You can really easily make your life hard if you're lacking the symptoms of persistence. The number four is the indecision. The habit of passing the buck on all occasions instead of facing issues squarely, also backed by alibis. Now, how many of us have tried this one day in and day out? The indecision, the habit of passing the buck. It's not my fault. It's Cheryl's fault. It's not my fault. It's Scott's fault. Pass the buck. Because I have a great alibi, and let me tell you something. It's not me. It's everybody else. The fifth one. The fifth habit, or the fifth symptom, is the habit of relying upon alibis instead of creating definite plans for the solutions of problems. The habit of relying upon alibis. Now, how do we rely upon our alibis? Instead of creating our definite plans for the solutions of problems, we rely on what we tell ourselves. Instead of creating a definite plan, why do we do that? Why? Because we have no persistence. And that's what we do when we make our life hard. The sixth symptom of lack of persistence is self-satisfaction. There is but little remedy for this affliction, and no hope for those who suffer from it. The seventh, indifference, usually reflected in your readiness to compromise on all occasions rather than meet opposition and fight it. That one right there, the indifference, that's usually reflected in your readiness to compromise on all occasions rather than meet opposition and fight it. Indifference. You see something that is indifferent, and instead of going about it, you go along with it. You know what I'm talking about. Number 8, on the symptoms of lack of persistence. The 8th one is the habit of blaming others for your mistakes and accepting unfavorable circumstances as being unavoidable. 9. Number 9 is the weakness of desire due to neglect in the choices of motives that impel action. Number 10 is the willingness, even the eagerness to quit at the first sign of defeat, based upon one or more of the 6 basic fears. And if you need me to go over the 6 basic fears with you, well, then you can skip back to, I don't know, maybe all of the knowledge drips that I've done in the past. And you could go back and you could figure out what those motherfucking 6 basic fears are. Alright? But the willingness, this is number 10, remember this. This is number 10 on the symptoms of lack of persistence. The number 10th one is the willingness, even eagerness to quit at the first sign of defeat. And what does that even mean? To quit at the first sign of defeat. It means that you, the person walking around underneath your hat, the person that has planted seeds, sown seeds, let the roots grow and allowed the green trees, the life, the abundance of fruit to overtake you. But you had one defeat. You had one limb break off. You had one root dry up. You had one seed fail. Therefore, you quit. Now, how many knowledge drips do you think I tried to do before I uploaded this one? That's right, 11. I did one for each day that I was supposed to make my life hard. And because I was willingness to follow making my life hard, I quit at the first sign of defeat. If I said one wrong word that I thought was wrong in the knowledge drip, I quit. I practiced this number 10 for 11 days, and let me tell you, making your life hard is not fun. Making your life hard is not easy. Working hard is not easy. It's too much motherfucking thinking. And I don't like too much motherfucking thinking. The number 11 of the symptoms of lack of persistence is the lack of organized plans placed in writing where they may be analyzed. Like I said, most of the time I would come into this knowledge drip prepared, books written, ready to go. I would have all my ideas and thoughts written down in a single book, ready to be shared unto you. But because I was making my life hard, but because this whole motherfucking week of 11 days I was making my life hard, and I don't like it. I really don't. But I'm practicing it. I tried it. I thought I would go about it, and I went about it, and it's the number 11 is the lack of organized plans placed in writing where they may be analyzed. And now, after the 11th day, on the 11th number of the symptoms of lack of persistence, I got to do this knowledge drip without any notes. Without any notes for the whole week, without preparing myself, without any organized plans. I was making my life motherfucking hard. Oh, shit. As I lay my head upon my beautiful blue snowball. Guys, I'm telling you, don't make your life hard. I tried it. I really motherfucking tried it, and I don't like it. 12. Number 12 is the habit of neglecting to move on ideas or to grasp opportunities when it presents itself. You probably are wondering, what's the idea? What did you neglect during those 11 days? Some of my ideas were to call people. I neglected those ideas. Some of my ideas were to do the knowledge drip. And as soon as I did it, I went back to the motherfucking number 10 of the symptoms of lack of persistence, and I quit at the first sign of defeat. I'm telling you, making your life hard, it makes you want to motherfucking cry. It makes you not want to touch your dick. It makes you not want to get some pussy. It makes you not want to plant your seed in the women. It doesn't make you want to do what the book of Genesis says, which is plant your seed and be fruitful. It's the habit of neglecting to move on ideas or to grasp opportunity when it presents itself. The 13th symptoms of lack of persistence is wishing instead of willing. Wishing instead of willing. Now, what did I do this time in order to distance myself and make my life hard? How did I practice this one? I wished it. I wished that someone would come knock on my door and bring me what I needed to bring. I neglected it. I was wishing for someone to pay my power bill. And the motherfucking power turned off and I had to pay the bill myself. I was wishing instead of willing. Do you understand? I was being my own worst enemy for 11 days. I was practicing this stabbing myself in the chest with my sword. The poem we talked about earlier today. All because I wanted to make my own life hard. Number 14. Number 14 on the symptoms of lack of persistence is the habit of compromising with poverty instead of aiming at riches. A general ambition of absence to be, to do, and to own. And you might be wondering, well, how did you do this one? Well, let me tell you something. This week, I had the opportunity, no, not the opportunity, the privilege, the right to buy a house. But because I was practicing making my life hard, I compromised with poverty. Fuck. Compromised with poverty. I didn't want to have to compromise with poverty. You shouldn't compromise with poverty. You should compromise yourself with riches and love and the abundance that life is. But no. Because I wanted to make my life hard. Because I wanted to practice it. In these last 11 days, a lot of shit happened. And I was able to compromise with poverty. Able to compromise with just okay. Compromise with the thought of poverty. Compromising to myself that there isn't enough to go around. Which is just motherfucking ridiculous. That's just a bitch ass idea right there. I'm sorry, Jake. I know you paid $2,500 for our knowledge drip that we did together. But let me tell you, I tried to make my life hard. And I can't motherfucking do it. It's a bitch. It's a headache. It gives me anxiety. It stresses me out, making my life hard. When it's easy to know that there is an abundance of life, because I know that there's an abundance of everything. But because I was trying to make my life hard, I was practicing compromising with poverty. And how many of us to this day are compromising with poverty? we must continue to unplan ourselves from this idea of poverty, which I know is one of the 6 basic fears. But that's all right, because we had to do it. We had to practice it. I had to practice it. I had to practice this. I had to practice the compromising with poverty. It's making me hard just thinking about it. It's making me frustrated and anxiety ridden just thinking about it. Guys, ladies and gentlemen, beautiful people of this world, if you have green eyes, blue eyes, red eyes, if you have black hair, white hair, gray hair, like me, most of my hair is turning motherfucking gray now because of this worrying I've been doing for no reason over the last 10 days. My gray hair is popping up. I tried to make my life hard. I really did. But it just ain't fun. Alright, here we go. Number 15. As I break down out here. Number 15 is searching for all the shortcuts to riches. Trying to get without giving a fair equivalent. Usually reflected in without giving a fair equivalent. Usually reflected in the habits of gambling or endeavoring to drive sharp bargains. Now that's number 15. Now let's go back over the number 15th symptoms of lack of persistence. Just not only for you, but for me as well. Just because this one was very hard to grasp over the last 11 days. And that is searching for all the shortcuts to riches. Trying to get without giving a fair equivalent. In this one, I tried to figure out how I could go over the shortcuts to riches. How I could try to get something without giving anything. And this one was actually very hard because I've noticed that there are a lot of friendly people out there. A lot of friendly people, especially if you do them right most of the time. They're willing to give you stuff, willing to help you out with stuff, give you food, give you water bottles, give you oranges, give you marijuana, give you rides here, give you a little bit of gas money there. If you're nice with them most of the time. So I feel like on this one, searching for the shortcuts to riches, I would have to give it more time than 11 days. Just because of the people I hang out with. The people that I know, the people that are already experienced and rich upon their own meanings of life. Guys, this was a real hard week. I hope all of you out there were able to practice for the 11 days like I did, making your life hard. But let me tell you something. I don't want to do that shit no more. I just want to make my life easy. I want to help people. I want to, write down my ideas. I want to recognize and clearly define what I want on a daily basis. I didn't even write down any goals over that last 11 days. Oh my goodness, no goals. But they say it takes 21 days to build a habit. But 11's enough for me. I don't want to build a habit of not writing down goals. I don't want to build a habit of procrastination. I don't want to build the habit of indecision. I don't want to build the habit of relying upon alibis. I don't want to build the habit of compromising on every occasion. I don't want to build the habit of blaming others. I don't want to have that habit of giving up at the first sign of defeat. I don't want that. I don't want to have the habit of unorganized plans. I don't want the habit of neglecting to move on ideas. Guys, ladies and gentlemen, ladies, I don't even know why I call you motherfucking gentlemen, brutes, uneven human becomings. It's time for our 16th and final symptom of lack of persistence, which is the fear of criticism, failure to create plans and put them into action because of what other people will think, do, or say. Oh, this one. I understand this one too well. This number 16th symptom of lack of persistence. This fear of criticism. The failure to create plans and put them into action because of what other people will think, do, or say. As we already hit the 40 fucking minute mark. That's fucking great. But this fear of criticism and the failure to create plans and put them in action because of what other people will say. Oh my gosh! Oh, that one makes me so upset. It makes me so angry with myself. Because first of all, how am I going to know? How are you going to know? How is the leaders of Wild Thoughts with the Big Bang? How are we going to know what other people are going to say if we never do it? I'm telling you, the worst enemy that any man has is the one that walks around under his own hat. And I just went over it in the symptoms of lack of persistence. Oh yeah, we went over it. We went about it. And we thought about it. And from now on, I'm making my motherfucking life. I'm making my beautiful life. I'm making my enjoyable life. I'm making my ever abundance of water, my ever abundance of fire, my ever abundance of air, my ever abundance of money, my ever abundance of thought to make my life easy. I will no longer go over these symptoms of lack of persistence. I'm going to do just the opposite. And I'm going to do the symptoms of persistence. I'm going to continue to practice persistence. I'm going to continue to know that I can do things. I'm going to continue this. And it's going to be easy because I know that it will be easy. And that is what I'm excited for. So, everybody, if you're making your life hard, hopefully you're done with it. Hopefully you're over it. Because let me tell you something, I'm over it. I'm over it big time. Because it was making my life hard and difficult, and my brain was not working the way I wanted it to work. So, now that we are at the 43-minute mark, which is very impressive. Congratulations, everybody. Give a big clap of hands for yourself. We're done making our life hard. At least I'm done making my life hard. So, let me go ahead. Let me end this knowledge trip now. You know how I like to end it. Let's go ahead and go over the self-confidence formula. If you haven't memorized, repeat it aloud with me. If you don't have it memorized yet, you can go ahead and open up your book of the Law of Success. And what's it again? What's the name of this book? The Law of Success in 16 Lessons by Napoleon Hill. And we'll just go over it, the self-confidence formula, in order to pick ourselves back up over this whole week, because I haven't read it for 11 days. I haven't recited it for 11 days. I haven't done nothing with my self-confidence formula for 11 days. And it's really been not making my life easy. So, let's go ahead and finish this up right now. Here we go. The self-confidence formula. First, I know that I have the ability to achieve the object of my definite purpose. Therefore, I demand of myself persistent, aggressive, and continuous actions towards its attainment. Second, I realize that the dominating thoughts of my mind eventually reproduce themselves in outward bodily action and gradually transform themselves into physical reality. Therefore, I will concentrate my mind for 30 minutes daily upon the task of thinking of the person I intend to be by creating a mental picture of this person and then transforming that picture into reality through practical services. Third, I know that through the principle of autosuggestion, any desire that I persistently hold in my mind will eventually seek expression through some practical means of realizing it. Therefore, I shall devote 10 minutes daily to demanding of myself the development of the factors named in the 16 lessons of this reading course on the law of success. I have clearly mapped out and written down a description of my definite purpose in life. For the coming 5 years, I have set a price on my service. For each of these 5 years, a price that I intend to earn and receive through the strict application of the principle of efficient, satisfactory service, which I will render in advance. I fully realize that no wealth or position can long endure unless built upon truth and justice. Therefore, I will engage in no transaction which does not benefit all whom it affects. I will succeed by attracting to me the forces I wish to use and the cooperation of other people. I will induce others to serve me because I will first serve them. I will eliminate hatred, envy, jealousy, selfishness, and cynicism by developing love for all humanity. Because I know that a negative attitude towards others can never bring me success. I will cause others to believe in me because I will believe in them and in myself. I will sign my name to this formula, commit it to memory, and repeat it aloud once a day with full faith that it will gradually influence my entire life, so that I will become a successful and happy worker in my chosen field of endeavor. Alright guys, that's it. Congratulations. Remember to make your life easy. If you want to write into the show, which I know a lot of you have because I haven't even said the email in the last maybe 6-7 knowledge drips, just because there's been an overwhelming response of people emailing me. Hello. That's alright though. It's all good. But if you want to email into the show, you're more than welcome to. And the email for that is reflife32@gmail.com. Spelled reflife32@gmail.com. Okay. If you want to get a hold of me on the Snapchat world, you can go ahead and find me under Big, like BIGWBANGT. That's right. It spells Big Bang, but it spells like, it's like Big W Bang T. Like, you know, Wild Thoughts of the Big Bang. It just makes sense. It's just easy that way. So if you want to follow me on the Snapchat, that's probably the first best way to get a hold of me. And anyway else, I gave up on the Instagram. So if you want to get a hold of me, Snapchat or email. That's the best thing to do. And guys, I know a lot of you actually have been writing in and asking, where was the massive movement number 12 in the beginning? Because I didn't do one on the first. Most of the time I do massive movements I would have done massive movement part 12 on the 1st of December. But because I'm the motherfucking host and I get to decide when it goes, I'm changing the last massive movement till the last day, December 31st, before the beginning of the supposedly new year. So stay tuned for that as we finish off our massive movements 1 through 12. Alright guys, ladies and brutes, beautiful women out there, hope you enjoyed today's knowledge drip. Hopefully you're going to go out there and make your life easy, because I know I'm done making my life hard. So do not force, just let it be. And until next time, this has been one of your favorite knowledge drips. This has been Wild Thoughts with your host, The Big Bang. Bye.